Well, Elon's the coolest. He's my favorite billionaire. That dude's wild. He's a wild boy. I will buy Teslas as long as they sell them, just to support that dude.
Just to keep Twitter going.
And they're dope. But yeah, just to support him, man. You God damn it, you need an Elon Musk in this world. You need a wild boy. You need a dude who's got $200 billion who dunks on people.
Dude, how great was watching him realize in real time how stupid Don Lemon is?
Oh my God.
Like you could actually see on his face as he's asking the questions, and he's like, well, if you lower standards, then you're going to get more incompetence. And Don Lemon's like, so you're saying black people aren't competent? And he's like, no, that's not. And he slowly starts to realize like, oh, I have 80 IQ points on this guy.
It's not just that. He said a very important point. He said that Don Lemon was doing CNN outside of CNN.
Yep. Yep.
And you don't have to do that. You just don't. Nobody wants that anymore.
I'd say you can't do that. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. But more importantly, you shouldn't do it because it's not good for you. Just be a human. Don't be this thing, this journalistic probing bullshit thing that's trying to spin a narrative. This one wild genius dude decides to buy Twitter.
Isn't it amazing?
Amazing. If he didn't do that, we would genuinely be in a real pickle.
Honestly, Twitter or X now is really where I get like all my news. Like I don't even resort to a lot of the mainstream media places, at least for breaking news. Like I'll find it on X. So God bless Elon Musk. I really think that he has almost single-handedly really turned this culture around. So God bless him.
He's definitely made it take a turn. And for anybody who thinks that's exaggerating, you have to take into consideration that is not a business move that any corporation that wants to make money would have approved.
No.
If you're Elon Musk, you can do it. But there's like maybe 5 of those guys on Earth that could just buy something for $44 billion.
That's crazy.
That's really probably worth half that.
Right.
So you could never justify it on paper.
No.
So he's an insane person.
He is.
Who's dedicated to free speech, who just happens to have $200 billion. So he can step in and do that. And when they tell him about advertising, that was one of my favorite speeches ever. He was like, go yourself.
Isn't that awesome?
It was amazing.
It was perfect.
If you're going to blackmail me with money, you're gonna do that, go f yourself.
It's amazing.
And then he goes, hi, Bob.
It's hilarious.
Also, he's smarter than everybody. So
and he's rich.
He sees where all this is going. He's like, you people are out of your minds. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
So he literally has to step in and buy a social media platform. And then upon doing so, they release all these emails to these journalists like Michael Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi, and you find out through all this that they've been in contact with the FBI, and the FBI has been telling them to delete accounts and get rid of posts. And
my account was deleted prior to the Elon Musk era, but I was able to make a new account under Elon Musk's Twitter.
Yeah, luckily.
And it's the only platform that I found where I don't get my videos or posts removed.
He goes in, man.
It's really interesting to see how political he's gotten, and that immediately upon being, because he was the darling of the left and the right. The left, obviously, for the cars, right? Yeah. But the right, because he's a successful businessman, right? Yeah. And the second he takes a position politically, he is chastised, shamed, ridiculed. And even before that, think about it. Everybody was invested in Tesla because the stock was going crazy. So not only are you the darling, you're making me money.
Right.
I want you to be great.
Yeah.
Once you're making people money, they don't want to write bad about you. Yeah. Especially if they got $1 million invested in Tesla.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ridicule this guy and watch half of my money go away.
Yeah.
And the second he opened his mouth about politics.
And the thing is, he snaps back at people.
He goes.
Which is crazy.
He goes.
Bro, he dunks on people.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, but I'm also just like, don't you got some science to do? Get off Twitter.
How are you doing this?
Yeah.
I don't understand how he does any of it.
AI, dude. He created another Elon.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's AI.
But what he's done with Twitter or X is really interesting.
I call it Twitter.
Yeah, it's hard for me to change.
Because it is an X that you made, or is it a tweet? Did you tweet something?
It's a tweet.
I tweeted it.
Yeah, it's Twitter.
It's kind of funny, though, because it is X.
Yeah, but it's Twitter.
But it's Twitter.
But, like, the idea that he is going to uphold this soapbox for free speech, despite having some awful things said, the greater outcome will be, hopefully, a civil society where ideas can permeate freely.
He may have very well saved that humanity in some way. I don't know how happy Elon is, but I know he laughs a lot. Like, I've been around that dude a lot, and he's always laughing about it. He's clearly under an extreme amount of pressure. He's clearly a high performer, but he's also seems to be enjoying a lot of it.
Did you see his interview recently with Lex? I think it was maybe 4 months ago.
No, I didn't.
So on that, there's a really interesting point where Lex is asking him basically what it's like to be Elon.
Yeah.
And Elon says, most people think they would want to be me, but they do not want to be me. My mind is a storm. They don't know. They don't understand.
He said that to me too. Yeah.
It's apocalyptic and terrifying. We spoke about this last time, Tiger Woods, the price that people pay to be the person that you admire.
Right.
And, you know, Tiger Woods goes through this really difficult period with his father and all the rest of it. And this is the best remedy for envy that I can think of. Because people look at Elon as this dude who's sending rockets to Mars and he's making the coolest cars on the planet and he's on stage in Japan or China or whatever doing weird robot dances and he's super rich. You go, you don't know the price that he's had to pay for that. You don't know the internal texture of someone's mind. Your heroes aren't gods. They're just regular people who probably got good at one thing by sacrificing literally everything else.
Yeah, he's not a normal guy.
He can't be.
He's a very, very unusual person. And when you talk to him, you can tell, like in the back of his brain, his mind is just firing. It's just going all. Like I asked him, I'm like, what is it like to be you? Like, what is it like to have all these? He's like, you wouldn't want to be me.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't seem happy.
He didn't even know that it wasn't normal until he was like an older kid, and he's like, oh, everybody's not like this, where you just got ideas just bouncing around your head like laser beams, just constantly go. I mean, the guy's running 3 different companies simultaneously, or 4 different companies simultaneously.
Yeah, I think at the time he was doing like 5 or 6 too. It's something crazy.
Insane. It's like buys Twitter,
yeah,
posts on it all the time, dunks on people, posts memes, gets people mad at him, and then is also running SpaceX, and is also running Tesla, and is also running the Boring Company. Like, what the man?
It's having similar characteristics of like a degenerate gambler to be that successful in business like that, because you have to be willing to go all in all the time.
Well, he's one of the very few people that's like the head of a business like that. That's also, he's an extraordinary human in terms of like the way his mind functions. It's not a normal person.
No way. No, you don't get to that level.
It's interesting to me that people don't seem to understand the value and importance of a guy like Elon, who's this wild billionaire character who likes to dunk on people. Like that guy being like, did you see that thing that he posted the other day? Because there's one of the guys who was like from Facebook, I believe, said that what Elon is doing is corruption on like an Enron level, I think he compared it to. So Elon posted a photo of a dog laying its balls on another dog's head. And
I did not see this.
It was like dunking on this dude. I'm like, how wild is this guy? And then someone said, did you really spend $44 billion on Twitter so you can dunk on people? And he writes 100%. He's like,
I don't know how he has time for this. I mean,
don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But
and
he
do
does.
Everything else that he's doing.
He's a fascinating guy.
Yeah.
I mean, his brain is a fucking tornado of information just flying around all the time. And I think it helps him to be able to just fuck around and be silly.
Yeah.
But he was the only one that recognized that there's a real problem if you have the entire narrative being controlled by one ideology through all the social media apps.
Yes.
And that's what's going on.
Exactly.
When I talk to Elon Musk, I'm very aware how dumb I am.
Really?
Yes. When I talk to Lex Friedman, when I talk to
But
Eric
if you
Weinstein,
talk to Elon about emotions and human
makes me
interaction,
uncomfortable.
if you talk to Elon about emotions and human interaction, probably you're much smarter than him.
He's not dumb in that regard. He's a different kind of human, man. Like, that's an unusual combination of characteristics. He likes to make jokes. He takes a picture of Bill Gates, and then he puts it next to a pregnant man emoji, and it says, here's a quick way to lose your boner. Yeah. Or if you want to lose your boner really quick, that's what he said. He posts that.
Yeah.
He's the richest man in the world, and he's dunking on other billionaires.
I love that. No,
you
I
gotta
love that.
celebrate that.
I love Elon.
And he loves that nature of the internet. And the thing that bothers him is this idea that like one gatekeeper can dictate whether or not something gets released into the whole world. If you're using something like Twitter, like you could have an amazing story and they can block it if ideologically they disagree with it. Like that's what happened with that Hunter Biden laptop story.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
Well, they decided to say that it was Russian disinformation and that you couldn't share the links on Twitter or Facebook.
Twitter said that.
Yeah, Twitter would not let you share the links. And the link is from a story in the New York Post, which is really kind of crazy because that's like one of the oldest newspapers in America.
Hamilton.
It's a long established newspaper and they wouldn't let you post. It's not like some wild ass website,
Right.
you know, some weird, it might not be a real website. It was fucking New York Post. And so when something like a Twitter has the ability to just tell you what you can and can't talk about.
Yeah.
Even if that thing is valid, even if that thing, well, what if it does legitimately, I don't know what the fuck is in his laptop, but what if it does legitimately point to corruption? Are we supposed to just ignore it?
I think what's going on now is like they want someone to be 100% compliant to whatever ideology they're a part of. And any deviation of that is problematic. Whether it's because they think, like I saw an article that said Elon Musk donated $150 million to some charity and they called him a cheapskate.
It's hilarious.
How hilarious is that?
Well, wait till they see when I'm a billionaire. Talk about get ready for this cheapskate.
I think back on his statements. I don't think they were particularly insensitive. I think they were just, you know, it was more of like a factual bluntness to the way he discusses things, because he's a numbers guy. He looks at things in terms of equations. He's trying to put people on Mars. You know what I mean?
By global standards, sure.
Bro, you're killing it.
By
Shut
global
your mouth.
standards, I'm on Elon Musk level.
I mean,
That's
I'm
true.
poor compared to Elon.
That is true. You are broke.
I'm
Do you
so
think-
broke.
Do you think he laughs about you, like when you're not there?
Yes.
He's like,
That poor little bastard.
He goes, I got Rogan coming over to the house. Put away
does
the
he
good
eat?
china. Because oh god, the Rogans are coming.
There's levels of people. I'm friends now. This is a bizarre thing to say, with multiple billionaires.
Yeah.
I know multiple guys that are billionaires, and they're very nice people. They're very nice, and I can see how it happens.
It's hard when you're doing stuff that is this complicated to predict exactly how long it's going to take. So, you know, we end up often falling a little bit behind, but we do our best.
That's the case, though, with everything that's that crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially with Elon, he's never right in his predictions. All his wacky inventions, they're always a little off.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
He's such an unusual human. Very few people that you could make any kind of rational comparison to, other than maybe Nikola Tesla, where you really stop and think what he's done.
yeah.
And the fact that he does them all simultaneously, that he's involved in the Boring Project, he's involved in Tesla and SpaceX all simultaneously, and Tesla Home, solar, all the solar panels and the making solar tiles for roofs, and he's doing so many different things at the same time. It's almost impossible. Like I don't understand how he does it.
Yeah, I've seen him do it, and I still don't understand it. You know, I don't know how he does it, to be honest.
Well, he's the next stage of humanity.
Yeah.
If people are evolving, he's like looking at us from the next spot. He's like, hey guys, I've got some ideas.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an idea factory, and his ability to do that across all the different technologies that go into rockets and cars and everything else he does, that's what really impresses me.
Well, also the lack of burnout, because he's been doing it
Yeah.
at this incredible rate, 16 hours a day for how long?
His whole life, I think.
That's nuts.
I know.
And he's still hungry for it. And he's still taking on these new projects and new ideas. And, you know, I mean, I'm very happy he exists, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just very confusing to me. I just feel so stupid when I'm around him, you know? Like the conversations I've had with him, I'm like, God, I'm dumb.
No.
You gotta do what you gotta do with what you got.
I won't go that far.
So his ultimate goal is to create some sort of a colony on Mars, but he believes that this technology will continue to expand to the point where we will be leaving our solar system. We will be making human trips into other solar systems, into actual deep space.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, hopefully that's, at some point, if we're going to survive, if you take the really long view, the solar system's not going to last forever.
Right.
It's going to last plenty long. And if my kids are listening at home, don't worry.
They're freaking out right now, especially a 2-year-old.
Oh,
oh, no, Daddy said we're going to die.
No, we got plenty of time.
Couple billion years, kids. Relax. It's not in our lifetime.
So we're kind of going down the road of making this place uninhabitable.
Well, what we need is someone like Elon who concentrates on the solutions. I mean, he's obviously got a full plate, many full plates, but someone like him to concentrate on solutions to some of the environmental problems that we've created for ourselves here.
Well, that was the thought behind Tesla. I mean, so Tesla's kind of like plan A, save this planet, and SpaceX is kind of plan B, if you look at it that way.
It's so weird to have a guy like that amongst us.
Yeah, what's going on with was it Neuralink, the company where he's making the chips that go in your head?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's the other thing he does.
That one.
He's changing the way humans interface with data. They're going to put wires in your head.
Yeah.
Right? That's the idea behind it.
That's the idea.
Christ. It's probably going to be inevitable. Once it happens, I mean, I don't want to be an early adopter, but once it does happen, and it really does remarkably increase your ability to interface with data, because that's the idea, right? So it ramps up the bandwidth in which people can access ideas and information, and it's going to change the way we interface.